Hey everybody. So today I want to talk to you about the film evaluation paper. So this is your evaluation paper, and um, just like last semester, you're going to get a chance to do a paper this semester with a partner, and that would be this paper. So you can choose to do this film, or I'm sorry, this paper by yourself, or you can choose to do this with a partner. Totally up to you. If you choose to do it by yourself, then obviously everything that I'm saying, you'll have to take a stance with this film and with this other film. If you choose to do this with a partner, then you pick a film, they pick a film of a similar specific genre, and you guys basically battle it out to evaluate the films. So, what do I mean by all that? Let's delve into this. So, this is an evaluation paper, and in this paper, you are evaluating specifically film. So you're going to pick a film of your choosing that is PG-13 or under. If you want to choose a rated R film, then you must get parental permission. Okay? I have a parent permission slip form that you have to fill out and submit to me before you can do this for a rated R film. So, that being said, just like we talked about with evaluations, when you're doing an evaluation, you are taking the topic, in this case a film, and you are comparing it to another film. But in order to compare it so that you're not comparing apples to oranges, like I said in my example, you don't want to compare like The Notebook to like Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay? You want to compare this film to another film in the same exact genre, or as close to the same exact genre as you can get. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean, you need to take not just one film versus another film, but you need to take two horror films, and not even just two horror films, but two slasher horror films. Maybe not even just two slasher horror films, but two slasher horror films from the 1980s or the 90s, or whatever. Okay, get as specific as you can. An easy way to do that would be maybe a film versus one of its sequels, or a film versus one of its competing type of films, like a Marvel versus DC kind of thing. Um, you might even do like a film versus its remake. Okay. But one thing you want to stay away from is like a film versus like its live action counterpart. So, for example, you wouldn't do Beauty and the Beast, the Disney cartoon, versus the live action Beauty and the Beast, because live action and cartoon are two totally different things. Even though it's the same film technically, what makes a good cartoon is vastly different than what makes a good live action film. So you would want to stay away from something like that. But you could do like Toy Story 1 versus Toy Story 3, or, something like that. Uh, DreamWorks versus Pixar. You could do something like that. Um, so anyway, what you want to do is you want to take two films, and let's say I'm taking two um, Marvel films, okay? And I want to say, let's say I'm taking um, Captain America, the Winter Soldier versus Iron Man 2, okay? And the reason I picked both of those is because um, they're both sequels from origin stories. So, like, Iron Man 2 is the sequel to Iron Man 1, which was Iron Man's origin story, and Captain America 2 is the sequel to Captain America 1, which is Captain America's origin story. So, they're both MCU, they're both Marvel, they're both action films. They're as close to the same specific category that I can get. Okay, so Iron Man 2 versus Captain America the Winter Soldier. Okay, and in my case, So now you want to decide which one are you defending. If you're doing a partner essay, you take one film, your partner takes the other, and you defend it. If you're doing this by yourself, you take one film and you say or you claim that it's superior to the other film. In both cases, you're saying your film is superior to the other film. It's just in one case, you're arguing with a friend, in the other case, you're arguing by yourself. Either way you do it, if you do this by yourself or you do this with a partner, the next step is to develop your criteria. Remember the steps that we talked about in evaluations. You've taken your film, you've narrowed it down to a specific genre and category that you can. In my case, I have Winter Soldier versus Iron Man 2. And then now I have to decide, what are my criteria? What are my measuring sticks for making me think that Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier is a superior film? Why is it so good? Why do I like it so much? And I've decided that for me, it's the acting, it's the story, and it's the effects, the visual effects. Okay, acting, story, visual effects. Those are my three. You decide what your three is. Now, here's the key. If you're doing this with a partner, you need to agree upon the three criteria. So you have a film, your partner has a film, they're as close to the same category as possible. Agree on the criteria that you're going to use. My criteria: visual effects, acting, story. You decide what criteria you want to base your films on. If you're doing this by yourself, you have a film that you love, you have a film that you don't, or you have a film that you love and a film that you don't like as much, and you decide what criteria you're going to use to evaluate them against one another. Okay, the criteria are your measuring sticks. So now that I have my film, Winter Soldier, I have my measuring sticks, my visual effects, story, and acting. Now I need to go through the film and I need to decide how it ranks with those things. Why is the acting so good? Why are the visual effects so good? Why is the story so good? Okay. And so now I need to state my opinion. Why do I think these things are great in this film? Okay, and each one of those will be a paragraph. But it's not enough for me to just say, these are my opinions. I need to have some ethos and logos. I need to have some credibility and some evidence to support my opinions. So how do I do that? Well, the best way to do that is to come up here, and I use this website, and I have a link for you in Schoology, but it's Internet Movie Database, imdb.com. And I've already pulled up Captain America Winter Soldier. Okay, now this website is kind of your one-stop shop for everything that you need as far as films go. And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to give a brief summary of your film. Okay, it gives you a brief summary here. Now, I'm not telling you to copy and paste. Don't copy and paste, but read this and put it in your own words. Okay. The acting, I can see, and the story, I can see who wrote it right here. I can see who's in it, and I can see if any of these actors have any sort of credibility to their names. Like, have they won any awards? Any of these people won any awards for acting or story writing? Oh, look, it was nominated for an Oscar. And 50 nominations. So let's see what kind of nominations it won. So, best achievement in visual effects. Well, I said one of my criteria was visual effects. It was nominated for an Oscar. That's some really strong, compelling evidence in my case, or in my side, that this film is a superior film in visual effects because of the award nomination. Okay? So all these, best actor, best supporting actress, all these other things that it's won awards for. Awards can be a great indicator, as far as films go, of a film's credibility, a film's success. Also, you can use critic reviews. Now, critics are experts in film study. They are your ethos, they are your credibility. So, I need to find critics who have rated this film. So I can come up here. There's a couple of places you can find critic scores, okay? You can go down here where it says reviews. Oops. And you can see 618 critic reviews, or I can click up here where it says more, and I can go to external reviews. Tomato, same difference, okay? So I'm just going to click on critic reviews, and I'm going to open this up in a new tab. And here's a whole bunch of critic reviews, okay? It does list them alphabetically, but it also kind of, or at least usually puts the more popular ones first. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this first one and see what they say. They gave it 3 stars. Okay, and I can read through this and I can see, okay, was that 3 stars out of 4, 3 stars out of 5? I can see what they said about it. I can see if they talk about like the acting or the story or the visual effects, which were my criteria. And if they say something about fantastic visual effects or anything like that, then I can copy and paste that quote. One of the keys to the film's efficacy is that it takes the time to develop the relationships among the 4 key members. The story doesn't become bogged down focusing on character development, but it has enough to elevate the protagonist above the level of fast-moving avatars. So basically, it's giving some praise to the storyline. Okay? So possible I could use that as evidence. See if there's another one I recognize off the bat here. Sorry, hold on. I'm kind of looking. There's a bunch. I'm not seeing anything that I recognize off the top of my head, but let's just take the next one, okay? So the Avengers movies just keep getting bigger and better and smarter and more relevant with each flick. I might have to start calling this the best genre franchise ever. And she goes on and on. And she talks about it's revolutionary within its own fictional context. I can't wait to see what's next, so on and so forth. Okay, so again, using a critic to back up what I'm saying. Okay, something else that you can use from Internet Movie Database that also helps with your evidence. So I have awards, I have critic reviews. And by the way, it should be noted that each film you must have at least one critic where you pull quotes from to support your case, okay? So you need a critic and you need something else, and that could be awards, it could be maybe look under where it says trivia, for example. And look at this bit of trivia. Unlike other films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this movie minimized the use of visual effects as much as possible. Anthony Mackie, who's one of the actors, he plays Falcon, elaborated. The Russos, what they did that was so great was they wanted to stay with live action, which is a dying art form. If they could build it, they built it. If we could do it, we did it. They wanted to do as little CGI as possible, and that's why the movie looks so great. Okay, and that's a great quote that I could use to support my claim about the visual effects. Okay, you want to try to find a bit of evidence for each one of your criteria. So if you can find them all through one critic, great. But I may have to sift through several critics, one that talks about story, one that talks about the acting, one that talks about the visual effects. Either way, each paragraph that I make, I need to support my claim about why this film is superior with that. Okay? Now, if you're doing this with a partner, this is kind of a give and take. Okay? You need to cooperate with each other. I'm going to write my paragraph about story. They're going to write their paragraph about story. So I write mine about Winter Soldier, they write theirs about Iron Man 2. I'm going to read their paragraph about Iron Man 2's story. And I'm going to see if I can poke holes in it. They're going to read mine about the Winter Soldier's story, and they're going to see if they can poke holes in that. So that I can basically say, yeah, this is what they say about Iron Man. Here's why they're wrong. And they're going to try to do the same thing with my Winter Soldier. Okay? So, at the end of the day, you're going to have 3 body paragraphs. You're going to have an intro. You're going to have a summary paragraph where you summarize both films in the same paragraph. You're going to have 3 body paragraphs, and each body paragraph, you're going to talk about each film. So you're going to have a body paragraph, like, for example, I mentioned story, visual effects, and acting. So I'm going to have a body paragraph for each of those. And in each of those body paragraphs, I'm going to talk about both films, Winter Soldier and Iron Man 2. And I'm going to talk about why I think mine is better than theirs, and they're going to talk about why they think theirs is better than mine. Okay? Then we're going to have a conclusion where we kind of wrap up our own thoughts and basically concede certain points. Iron Man 2 may have the more stunning acting, but the story and the visual effects of Winter Soldier make it the better film overall. Okay, and so basically you and your partner are going to have to come to an agreement as to which film is better. Okay, so by the end, come to some sort of agreement about which film is better, and that goes in your conclusion. Okay, and that's your paper. And you are going to have a works cited page. In the resources folder, I've given you a how-to for the different sources that you're going to use, to include Internet Movie Database, to include the different critics that you might use. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this paper might be easier to do on your own, but I'm giving you the option to do this with a partner. Okay? So, look for in the Unit 2 folder, look for this folder that says Evaluation Essay Major Grade Materials, and in here you'll see the paper assignment that I just went over. You'll see the release form if you want to do a rated R film. You'll see an example paper. You'll see a how-to for your works cited page. Okay, and you'll see a rubric. So that's pretty much everything you need. And there's your assignment.